Hello everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you that you're finding this video. I am your buddy Chapadong and I represent DFSArmy.com, your one-stop shop for everything daily fantasy sports related. First of all, thank you for taking a look at this video. Second of all, we're going to go real quick. I'm going to give you a tour of the website, show you everything that you get in comparison to everything that you see out there in the DFS world, because we see a lot of articles and we see a lot of screenshots of people winning, and it's hard to differentiate between which optimizer is best and which tools and projections are better, and we're all trying to get better at this game, and I believe that we've found it here at DFSArmy.com. So if you found this video, I encourage you to go down to the comments section in the video and click on the link, use the coupon code CHOP, become a member, and start basically improving your game. What we do at DFSArmy.com is we provide content, tools, and coaching. And the content on the front page here is very simple to find. We've got a lot of feature articles. You can scroll by sport and find all of the different sports that we cover, which is basically all of them. The other way that you can do that is by scrolling up here in the tabs and playing with the drop-down menus. Just simply click on the header itself and you're going to find the easiest way to find content and whatnot. NFL page, for instance, we've got an article out there about picking your season-long fantasy draft order. Kind of a gimmicky, fun article that is pretty creative when season-long drafts are coming up. But we've got season-long league stuff, we've got podcasts, we've got strategy articles starting to drop in NFL as we get ready for the season. We're focused more on baseball right now, so to show you that, I would click on this tab here, go down into the baseball category, and load it up and show you how much content drops on a daily basis. And I've got another way to show that to you when we get to the coaching part. But of course, you've got slate overviews, you've got stacking tutorials, you've got chalk and pivots, you've got single game showdown stuff, you've got GPP theory, you've got MME playbook, you've got everything. You've got Cash Academy, you've got everything that you can possibly want in terms of baseball coverage. And I encourage people all of the time to pick a couple of coaches and stick to them in the style that you play. If you try to absorb everybody, you're just going to confuse yourself and overwhelm yourself. It's a common thing that I hear, a common issue I hear inside DFS Army. The most popular way to go about things, though, right now is to click on the MLB tab, come down here to the research station or the starting lineups page, tools. Those are the main thing for research. In the starting lineups page, oftentimes it'll open you up to this batters page. Hopefully it'll queue right up here. And you've got all of the matchups you could possibly want. You've got all of the salary information, split, right-handed, left-handed information. You can scroll over here and grab 2-year numbers and season numbers, and you can get the DFSA grade, which is an all-encompassing rating, taking into effect how strong the pitcher is, how strong the hitter is, how well the hitter's been hitting, etc., 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 and put you on a number between 1 and 100, showing you the general strength of that matchup. Now, it is baseball. You're hitting a round ball with a round bat, but by and large, that number tells you who is poised to perform on that night. You've got StatCast information, opponent handedness information. We can keep scrolling over and find Vegas numbers, bullpen ratings. We can find splits by overall statistics, left-handed numbers, right-handed numbers. Pretty much anything that you want is on that batters page. You can come to the top 10s page and you can start sorting out and finding the top 10 rated batters for safety and cash games or GPP and upside, plate discipline, whatever you want to do, strikeout pitchers, it's all right there for you. I like the starting matchups page myself because this page shows me what arms to play. I can sort by strikeout percentage. I can sort by swinging strikes if I want to. I can even take this and go to the number filters, scroll over, greater than, punch in a number, and get guys who only strike out more than 25% of their batters. Let's say I don't want to look at anybody else today. And I'll show you what I do when we get to the lineups page here in a minute. The trending tab is my favorite tab. But what we do is we can sort that by descending order, and we've got all of the top rated pitchers. Rating is very similar to the hitting rating in a scale of 1 to 100, how strong the matchup is. So it would venture, or I guess it would stand to reason that the stronger the matchup, the more inclined we would be to play that pitcher. And the weaker the rating, the more inclined we would be to pick on that pitcher with bats. Easy way to find and get your research started in the right direction. When I go to the Trends tab, this is my favorite tab in all of the research station. I love this trending WOBA. Well, WOBA is an all-encompassing weighted on-base average. It's a combination of how often you get on base and how much damage you do when you swing the bat and hit the ball. Home runs are not created equal to singles and walks. Walks and singles do help you score points in daily fantasy sports, but a home run is obviously king. So this is telling you a combination of who gets on base a lot as well as who hits for doubles, triples, and home runs. That is a good metric by which you want to be looking when it comes to your research for bats. You may target a pitcher that you want to stack against, and you may want all of the bats that are only hitting over 400 in WOBA over the last 7 days. These would be your hot bats. You may want them for 14 days. Maybe you want a little bigger sample size. That's totally up to you. But I like comparing the season numbers with the 14-day numbers with the 1-week numbers, and I like seeing a guy who is going basically from, let's see if we can find one here real quick. There's one, 367 to 396 to 422. Anthony Rizzo's getting hotter still. He's pretty hot already, but he's getting even hotter as the days go on. So I want to get on that train, and I want to ride an Anthony Rizzo in that situation. You can also use that exact same scenario for numbers like ISO, which is pure power. Hard contact. Who's hitting the ball hard? You know, Nelson Cruz is hitting the ball really hard right now. He's 40% on the year. He's 52% over the last week, but he's not getting the results. You know, his WOBA's great at 448, but he may not be getting the results to really be smashing the cover off the ball. His BABIP, as a result, is very low. So maybe he's due for some regression. If you're that fancy and you want to dig into these numbers, then maybe you're going to say, well, he's hitting for some results, but he should be hitting for even better results because his BABIP is low and his hard contact is high. Always a good way to look at and picking batters. Maybe you stack Seattle tonight as a result. What I like to do personally when I'm looking at expensive pitching is find value bats. And the way I find value bats is I take that number, I sort it by 400. I take the plate appearances because I don't necessarily want a spot starter. I will take this to greater than, say, 35 at bats and see how much it cuts my list down. Didn't cut it down a lot. That's a good thing. Now I'm going to take my salary numbers here and say less than $3,000 on FanDuel. Whack. These are my hot hitting value bats. Chirinos, Flores, Marwin Gonzalez, Souza, Kepler. These are great one-offs for your offense. Great one-offs to use today. If you become a VIP, you want to unlock this tool for yourself, you need to become a member. While I go ahead and clear this out, I'll show you the next area of tools, which is the starting lineups page. This is another phenomenal area to look at. These numbers are 14 days and versus handedness. If you want 7-day numbers, you got to go back to the research station. But if you like 14-day sample size and you want it versus right-handed pitchers or versus left-handed pitchers, these are the numbers that you want. There's your WOBA number again. And in your WOBA number, you also got some StatCast info in XWOBA. XWOBA is basically a predictive number, telling you that based on launch angle, exit velocity, and things like that, how the guy is hitting the ball. If he's hitting it hard, it's just, if his XWOBA is low, he's not hitting it very well. If his XWOBA is high, he's hitting it really hard. If his XWOBA is high and his WOBA is low, he's suffering from a little bit of bad luck, because StatCast data tells you that if you hit a line drive at a 30-degree launch angle at 105 miles an hour, 90% of the time it's a hit, 75% of the time it's a double, 40% of the time it's a triple, 40% of the time it's also a home run, whatever the StatCast data transfer, that's what it's telling you. And so what you're looking at with this XWOBA number is maybe who's hitting the ball hard and is getting a little gypped off, or who isn't hitting the ball hard but is getting really lucky. When you see a guy like Yadier Molina, he's hitting the ball well, he should be hitting a 406, when it comes to WOBA. But he's hitting a 514, so he's getting a little bit lucky. Is he due to come back to earth a little bit? Or is he going to keep going? That's your decision to make. But these two numbers side by side let you know who that is. So let's say we scroll down a little bit today and we see, say, the Chicago Cubs, and we want to go ahead and see, are they in as good a spot? Well, we don't have a lot of hot bats. We might focus on Anthony Rizzo. His XWOBA and WOBA are up there over 500. We might get off of Almora. We might get off of Jason Hayward. We might not be all that important, focused on Wilson Contreras. We might love Javi Baez. So if I'm going to run Rizzo and Baez, I might want to look to stack a third guy in that lineup if they're set to score a bunch of runs tonight. That's when I might pick up a Wilson Contreras. I probably won't touch Alberto Mora no matter what. Doesn't make sense. You know, I might come down here to a Kyle Schwarber and run 1, 2, 3 guys. 4-man stack might be an Ian Happ or a Contreras. If I see like a Ben Zobrist or somebody pop into the lineup, I might use him. That's how you use that page when you're targeting your offenses. You can use it for one-offs, just Rizzo, come over here, pick up Salvi Perez, come down here, pick up David Freese, and now you're building more of a cash lineup that doesn't stack. Again, cash versus GPP, two different builds. That's stuff we talk about inside DFSArmy.com. So what I'm looking at on this page also, you can look at those numbers side by side, but we're also looking at numbers like the implied run totals. And we're looking at the pitchers down here at the bottom. When I'm looking at the pitcher down here at the bottom, then I see Wade LeBlanc pitching. I see that Seattle is scheduled to score about 5.5 runs. Texas scored to score 5 on their own. The DFSA grade's pretty low for LeBlanc, and it's pretty low. It will be pretty low for Martin Perez. And then this Carnage number, Nilly J is one of our coaching contributors, and he comes up with a number called Carnage, which tells you the lower the number, the stronger the pitcher. The higher the number, the more he's liable to get shellacked. So when I see numbers like a 3.8, I'm probably thinking more along the lines of, should I consider Homer Bailey today? Should I consider Noah Syndergaard today? But when I look at a Carnage number of a 6, I'm thinking about, should I use Texas today or should I use Seattle today? These are all at-a-glance numbers that show even the DFSA grades and are pointing you in the right direction to assemble better lineups based on numbers people don't have in the industry. This is where you get your advantage. This is where you get the value. Let me show you the Domination Station Optimizer. The optimizer itself, you set it for any of the sports you see here on FanDuel. DraftKings has other sports as well, like MMA and whatever else. But say you want to play FanDuel and MLB. You set it for the main slate. It pulls up all of the games. Of course, you can click the games on and off at will. You see some of the team total stuff, some of the game total stuff, the time of the start of the game. You can organized by position. You can play with salary and fantasy point projection sliders, salary cap numbers. You can build numbers of lineups. If you want to build 100 or 200 lineups, do it. If you want to build 143 lineups, do it. If you want to only build 7 lineups, do it. You can also punch that number in and change it to whatever you want. We've got an optimal mode using our projections. We've got a tournament mode. They both do different things. That's another thing you can learn inside DFS Army. We've got DFS Army points, and we've got a projection source that also uses its own numbers for a consensus type rating. You've got 2 sources that you can use. You want to use unique players. If you want a tighter core of players, you use fewer unique players. This is going to force 2 different players in every lineup, or 3 different players, or 6 different players into every lineup. If I'm forcing 6 different players into every lineup, I'm going to have a very, very small core of maybe 2 or 3 players, and then a whole bunch of interchangeable pieces coming in and out of my lineups. If I tighten it up down to, say, 2 players, I'll have a pretty tight core of 4 or 5 guys, and then I'll have 2 or 3 guys mixing in and out as secondary plays. That's another way to control. You don't want to bat anyone in the 7, 8, or 9 hole. You start clicking these boxes and unchecking those. You want to use only confirmed batting orders, you click the yes button there. These are all different things you can play with. You want to stack against your own pitcher, go for it. You can do it. Hitter stacking is pretty cool, and this is getting a revamp. So for the NFL season and the last part of the baseball season, we're testing a couple of things that are going to customize the stacking even more. But right now you can use, a 4x4 stack if you want. You can use a 3x3 stack. You can use a 3x2. You can use a 4x2. You can use whatever you want. You've got a primary team and a secondary team. You want to stack Cleveland in 50% of them? You want to put St. Louis in 25% of your lineups? You want to put Seattle in 100% of your lineups because you really like their spot? And you want to put Chicago in 100% of your lineups? Now you've got 102. Well, we got to get it under 200%. That's the magic number. You got to keep it under 200%. So I would maybe go 50 there, and let's take St. Louis out of there, and I'm only running 3 teams today. I've got 50 plus 50 is 100, and then 100 is 200. So I run those 3 offenses in 4x2 stacks, and then it'll mix and match one-offs and whatever else as the optimizer sees fit based on the projections. It's another way to customize your lineups. When the afternoon hits, we get ownership projections as well. This is a $30 added value. If you were to subscribe to this channel on your own, $30 a month just to get their ownership projections. Instead, we include them free. Very good source to find the chalk. You want to find the chalk to get off the chalk when you play tournaments. You can lock in players. You can adjust their rating, their projections by 5, 10, or 15%. This becomes very handy in NF or NBA season. Sometimes you want to just lock that pitcher in. That's fine too. You want to jack his percentage up yourself to 42 points. You can do that yourself. You got minimum and maximum exposures. You can do it globally by saying I want to force everybody into my lineup, at least 10% of my lineups, and I don't want anybody in more than 70% of my lineups. There you go. You want to control this a little bit more and say I want Charlie Morton in no more than half my lineups, but I want him in at least 25% of my lineups. There you go. You can do this all day long. You can play with these numbers. You can adjust things. I've got videos showing you how to tweak this and find the guys that you found through the research station and put them in the domination station and get them to pull forward so that when you crank on the optimize button here, it spits out all of the lineups that you could possibly use today and it pulls your teams forward. This one only did 2 because I was messing with the numbers, but this would be a couple of sample lineups that it threw at you. I mean, you know, that's just the way that it goes. That's what the industry is becoming. When it comes to coaching inside the DFS Army, I'll take you on a quick tour of the Slack channel. This is where we go to receive all of our game time decisions, all of our news, our notes, our weather forecasts, our game theory. What about this play? What about that play? Not so much how's my lineup look, because God, it's a round ball and a round bat. Who knows? What I know is if you're on the basic right teams and you're attacking the right pitching and stuff, you should do very well. When I look at yesterday, Sunday, I see, okay, we've got avatars that you can use. That's where all these custom Army hats come from. You know, you got a Cash Academy for baseball. You've got a slate overview for baseball. You've got an MME playbook for baseball. You've got the sway bar for NASCAR. You've got GPP theory for baseball. You've got an Army basic training page that is very, very, very handy for getting guys off on the right foot so it's not too overwhelming. There's another NASCAR article. There's a WNBA breakdown. You want to play that sport? We come in here and we've got another welcome message. We got a showdown, 1 game slate. You don't see a lot of chatter in here because what you're looking for here is the coaching channels. It's where most of your chatter comes from. If you look at, you know, coach, 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 all these coaches have produced content on that day for the most part, and they're open for business to go in and ask them questions. Over on the left-hand side, here's where you find all of the rooms, from basic weather talk to basic NFL talk. Geek Speak is a great NFL channel. It is a good MMA channel as well. You've got general baseball talk, and then you've got your coaches from Al Walsh to Ben to Boomer's Daddy to CG to you know myself up here. I've got a couple of messages waiting for me. I got to get to here in a minute. These are where you're going to find them. When you get into the MLB News and Notes channel, this is where we drop all of our notes. You know, little ideas that we have inside the slate. Maybe our thoughts changed a little bit. Sometimes we get some sportsbook information out of some of these guys. This looks like a late slate showdown one last night. Top stacks for Sunday were posted. This is where you find a lot of your snippet. Don't have a lot of time? Jump into the News and Notes channel and scroll backwards through time and catch up on what you missed throughout the day. This coaching channel, these coaching channels are absolutely what brings in the value. When you look at DFSArmy.com, you're looking at a couple of price points to become a VIP. You're looking at a free trial if you want to complete some of those new sites, maybe like a play draft or something. Get a 30-day come kick the tires trial offer for us. Great. That's what we hope that you want to do. Try before you buy. If you know you want to get in right away and try us for a month, you're never committed more than 1 month at a time. You come in, you become a VIP, you stick around if you like us, and you don't if you don't. At least you tried us. You can get that price all the way down to $35.99 right now, but in a couple of days it's going to go up. But right now you can get it down to $39.99 if you, or $35.99 if you use the code CHOP, C-H-O-P, knock 10% off of that. You can get your yearly subscription price if you just want to pay up front for a year and save a little bit more, get it down to $33 a month. You would use that option. These are different ways to become a member inside DFSArmy.com. Do we have a track record? Of course we do. Our track record is starting to speak for itself. A lot of you are finding us off of Twitter. $10,000 winner there. $50,000 winner there, $10,000 winner there. I guess that's not us, but that one is. There's the Army helmet. That's what we're looking for. $100,000 winner there. We owe a couple of more lineups here. 10,000 here. We owe, and there are guys that are winning. I can take you in here to the winning lineups channel. Scroll through a couple of those. You know, 30 bucks and the guy's thrilled. Great. There's another one, 80 bucks. Here's a mass entry guy that piled up good money and even won the thing for $1,000. Good for him. 20 bucks there. This is just small PGA game, but a win's a win. There's a couple of different lineups performing there. We've got guys winning in all shapes and sizes. It doesn't matter how you play the game, how big your budget is, $43 into $200, you'll take it. Am I right? 300 bucks there. Everybody inside the Army is at varying levels of their bankroll, at varying levels of experience, and we help all of you get better because everybody wants to win. Consider giving us a shot. Go to the comments section, dfsarmy.com, use that coupon code CHOP, C-H-O-P. Pick your pleasure, whether it's free or 33 or 39 a month or 33 a month, whatever your three options are, do it, but do it now before prices go up. Give us a shot before NFL rolls along because that's when the prices are going up. I'm your buddy Chopadong. You can always hit me up on Twitter, ask me questions. You can certainly hit me up in Slack in my coaching channel, Chop Talk, and you can ask me any questions that you want in there. I'm here for you. I got your back. I don't like spending other people's money, but when you got sites that are charging $100 for just a season or $150 or $200 to buy lineups and track records that don't cash 60% of the time like they're supposed to, or they only brag about double ups and cash games, we've got guys winning hundreds of thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, thousands of dollars, whatever you want, better than double ups. We believe in double ups, we believe in a cash component, but we also believe in gaining exposure to GPPs, and we're proving that that is the winning method. So join us. Don't sit there and watch our guys pass you on the leaderboards. Come be part of us before it gets to be too late. Take care, guys. Hope to see you around. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you when we see you.